Okay, so basically, welcome. This is gonna be a super casual us strategizing about what we want our brand to be, look like, act, do. We don't know. And so, like we said, we want to bring you guys in and just take you guys every step of the way, um, in what we do and what we're doing to build a business. So, this is it.
So you've been watching a lot of someone named Gary. Do you want to expand on that? Have you gotten some ideas from that?
Okay, well, let's start from the beginning.
Okay.
Okay, a little bit of backstory. We, us, together, as one, we
Are married, even though
are married. And we love each other so much. But, okay, so basically, we got together and we basically just did missions. So we're Christian and we just did like evangelism missions to America as soon as we met. And so we didn't have really any finances together or any plan or really any job other than missions. And so we were looking for. Okay, so if you're familiar with missions, you know that most people, they ask for money. And that's something that I never felt from God that I was supposed to do. I never liked the idea of asking people for money. And basically, all of our missions were based on faith. So we believed that if we went out and we did the work for God, that God would supply what we needed. So we never asked anybody for anything. We just did the thing. We just went out and did it, and then everything just fell together. And so when we were trying to basically be more grounded and be more stable and have our own place and basically go from being missions more into like being more a little bit more normal and more stable, more steady. I don't know.
Well, we wanted to build something so that we could teach what we have experienced and done to other people, because that's a big part of the Christian faith and belief, is that you would be able to help your fellow brothers and sisters.
Yeah, we call it discipleship, and it's basically like, you show somebody how to be a Christian, how to do Christian things, and you show them all your success stories with God, basically, and so that they grow in their belief in God also.
Yes, and we want to help other people go through what we went through in our missions, because it, for me, and I know for Rodrigo as well, it grew our character immensely. I have changed a lot since I went out as a woman with no job, no pretty makeup, no pretty clothes, no stability, nothing. I relied on Jesus, and He supplied everything that I ever needed, and it really worked out a lot of things in my life and made me realize I don't need everything that I used to need, and it really got me to a place of being grateful and letting go of just the idea of this. I never really wanted the American dream, the typical life. I never knew what that looked like, but it really got me to just kind of let go and trust God. So we want other people to be able to experience this kind of a life with God, to go out on faith and to do His work and to watch Him come through for them. So we want to have a place where people can come and do that.
So basically, our missions trips were based around faith and just the belief that God would come through for you. If He's real, then He'll come through for you. And so we always went out. We had 2 rules. The first rule was you couldn't ask anybody for anything. So you couldn't ask for a ride or a sandwich, nothing. And the second rule is you couldn't take any money with you. And so those were our rules when we went out on missions. And we really saw God come through. And we know that God is real based on these experiences that we've had with Him when we went out. And so then we came back after many trips and we taught on how to do this. And we were with my parents in a 2-bedroom, 2-bathroom apartment. And we had 12 people in there at one time. We built triple-decker bunk beds.
17 people.
17 people there once. We built triple-decker bunk beds, and we had guys. And we basically just lived out the Bible, you know. We just had everything in common. We ate together, we went out, and we did missions. And so we taught them how to do it, and then they all went out. Across America, some of them went Mexico, Canada, and some of them are still going. And so our basic main thing that we want to do is show people how to do this, show people that God can come through for them, that they just rely on Him and do the work, and He can come through. And also with that, we want to have a space basically where people can come and worship God freely in a free manner, you know, where they can express themselves however they want and just experience God. And because we believe that in those stories that we have going out and seeing God move, that our faith has grown. But also there's moments that we have with God where it's just us and Him, you know, in worship and in prayer and in reading the Bible, where you also grow. And so we want both of those things to happen for people, and we want to have a place for that to happen.
Yeah, because the best thing that you can do to teach someone about God is to push them towards God Himself. So if you show them, you know, that He's real and that He moves still to this day and that He is a good dad and He wants to take care of you and grow you in your character and in your life, you know, the best thing that we can do is just push them towards God. And that's what we believe. It's nothing that we can really teach them. It's just our lives showing that God's real and He wants to do life with you, basically, right?
Yeah. So I know that this is like kind of weird because it's supposed to be about, you know, building a business and a franchise. I mean, not a franchise.
A brand.
A brand. But basically who we are is we are people who follow Jesus and who love Jesus in the Bible. And we are primarily worshipers. I play guitar and I lead worship. I sing. And Daniel also sings. And that's primarily who we are, and where we feel the most alive is in singing and in worshiping God and in telling others about Jesus. So that's primarily who we are. Now this adventure about business is coming up because we want to be able to maintain this space for people where they can come and experience God. And in order for us to maintain that space, we feel that God is leading us to do a business. And so I guess I've always been, I guess I wouldn't say like, oh, I'm an entrepreneur, but I've always had the sense of like, I've never really wanted to work for somebody, even though I have. And I feel like I'm a hard worker, and we both are really hard workers. But I've never had the sense of like, oh yeah, well, I'm going to just work here for the rest of my life. but I've always wanted to build my own business. And so we actually started by having t-shirts.
Yeah.
Yeah, t-shirts.
Yeah. You tried to make a handle thing for photos once.
No, I didn't. I made a handle for my camera, and then Danielle thought it was really good. And she's
I'm
nice.
supportive.
And so she was like, oh, you should sell these. This could be your thing. And so I made a couple, and I was like, I don't know, this isn't going to work.
We did the calculations of how many he had to sell to make a living, and
It didn't work out.
online.
So then we thought about t-shirts. So then I started baking t-shirts at the house, like literally baking them. At first I made this thing to press it, but it didn't work. So then we had to buy one, a thing to press t-shirts, and then I bought like 500 t-shirts.
Probably.
And they were like $1 each, I think. So it's like $500 plus shipping. It wasn't that expensive. And then basically, I think I got it made. Did I get it made?
Yeah.
The thing.
You couldn't do it.
I couldn't make the thing.
It was so
thing.
sad. He tried so many
They made it
times,
up.
and then he'd have to erase it.
And so then, I don't know if you can see this, but this is a little screen thing to make
Screen print.
to make the t-shirts. So I couldn't make this. I could never get it to just be like super straight. And so we got it. When we paid somebody to do it for us, you had to like send it over the mail, and then they sent you this back. And so then I finally figured out that you're supposed to like mix water into the paint, even though the instructions said not to mix water into the paint, because it's too thick. And so then I started just doing it, and then to cure them, we had to put them in the oven for like 5 minutes each, and it was so hot and it was so hard. But I made like 500 t-shirts, and then we had a person that we knew here in Lancaster. Shout out Lancaster, we're local. Anyway, someone here in Lancaster was doing the Grace Fest thing and was like, hey, come sell your t-shirts, because I was trying to sell them online, and be like, hey, we're missionaries, partner with us by buying this t-shirt. And I sold like 3 of them.
Thanks to everyone who bought one.
You're the real MVP. And so then we went to Grace Fest, and what I did was I convinced Danielle to buy other t-shirts that were pre-printed, and they were like $1 each, I think. So we got all these pre-printed Christian t-shirts, plus the ones I made, and we went, and I feel like we made like $700. I think something like $752.
Maybe.
Off of those t-shirts.
He wants to say that so that he could say that we made our money back. The money that he made me spend.
We made our money back and then some. That's what I remember.
I did the finances, so.
That's what I remember. We made our money back and then some.
I don't know.
And then, we had to. We sold out.
No, we didn't. We
Yeah,
didn't
sure,
sell
we didn't sell
out. Oh, yeah,
Anyways, we made our money back. So that was our first endeavor into businessing. And it wasn't that awesome, because in order for us
we didn't make our money back.
We did make our money back. But in order for us to actually do that, we had to go to this event. But then it turns out the booth at the event cost like $700. So it's not something that was really doable. Mm-hmm. We couldn't replicate that.
We didn't pay the $700. We had someone who paid it, who let us come there and sell for free.
Yeah, they basically gave us a little spot on their booth to sell for free. So really nice of them. So it wasn't something we could replicate, and so the t-shirt dream died. No, it didn't die. So we continued on, we did more missions. And so then I convinced Danielle
Again.
to buy, instead of this, to buy a heat press. A heat press. Remember
He's
that?
such a salesman. To me.
A heat press. And so I did this heat press, and I had all this transfer paper, and I made all these little T-shirts.
They were cool.
They were really cool.
You want me to get one?
Yeah. So this is a T-shirt I made
And designed.
and designed. But they were way better than these because the lines are just so crisp and it just like makes it look way more professional. And so I did that and we sold, I want to say like maybe $50. They were like $10 each. But we really, those didn't sell good.
Because we didn't have anywhere to sell them. You know?
Yeah, we didn't have anywhere to sell them. And so then, but they were cheap to make. That's the cool thing about T-shirts. They're so cheap to make. And the heat press is so easy. You just boop, and then it counts for you and it beeps, and your T-shirt's done. And you could literally wear it right then and there.
Yeah.
It was so cool. So then after that failed, we literally donated all these T-shirts to like Goodwill
In Minneapolis.
when we moved, because we had to move, and then we couldn't take them with us. So we donated all these T-shirts to Goodwill.
I wonder who's wearing those right now.
That'd be so cool to see. If you see this video wearing one, comment below. Anyways, that was kind of it for a little while. And then we just kind of came back to my parents' house after basically just getting burned out of missions because of people. I mean, it happens. And so then we decided...
Well, people. Not like, you know, not people.
Basically, like, you know how it is. Everything you do, there's always going to be politics, you know, at your job, you know.
Within the ministry.
Yeah.
Not like...
Not like we didn't like people anymore. Of course we like people. But within that ministry, really they just like, basically just like a lot of, you know, organizations out there, they just use you. You know, like a lot of jobs out there, they don't care about you. They just use you for your gifts and then they just throw you out. And so that's what we were kind of burned out on. So we were working so hard. Now I'm working super hard for free and then getting treated bad. So it was really worth it. So I came back to my parents and then we had another idea.
What was it?
The real estate.
Okay.
So we had this idea because I was like really into like photography and videography, and
You still are.
I still am. And so then we just had this idea of maybe we should start a real estate company, where not a real estate company, but a company that like takes pictures and videos from
Real estate photography.
Yes, real estate photography. Explain it, Danielle.
Basically when you are looking for a house online and, you know, if there's bad pictures, then it doesn't really help sell your house. But if you have cool pictures or, you know, if you have a 3D tour where you can walk around and see how things are laid out, that just helps sell your home better. So Rodrigo and I thought, well, maybe we could, we're moving into this new house. We can use it as like a template for an example of what we could do. And no one does the 3D tours in the Antelope Valley. And we thought that would be super cool to offer. And we got like a 360 camera. We developed pricing and even made the template for the 3D tour and did photography, and he made a little video, which they were all really good. He did a really good job. But that's not really like where our heart's at, and it was kind of random, but that's what we do when we get bored, and we just sit around and like, we should do this, and then we just go for it, and it's like...
Yeah, so basically, we really thought about it, because we ended up sending our stuff to the person that sold us this house, and being like, oh yeah, we can do this stuff. And then really we thought about it, and we were like, well, I don't really want to do that. It doesn't sound appealing to me. And so...
Yeah, you just know, you know?
Yeah. You know when it's not for you. Even though it was cool, like, I made this 3D thing, it was cool. But eventually we thought, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But I was always looking for things, ideas on what to do to make money. Not just like on the side, but something that could turn into a business. And so then I kept seeing all these people do these. First, but the other thing is I was gonna do rings, where I was gonna make rings.
He was gonna try to have me convince me again to have him buy this ring thing, and I was like,
Well, basically you make rings out of coins.
it's cool. But cool. It was just kind of another rabbit trail for us.
Yeah. So we didn't do that. We didn't spend any money on that one. But we ended up, seeing all these, because of the coin thing, I somehow ended up seeing these things where like people buy all these pallets of like...
Well, before the ring thing, he's always wanted to buy a pallet. These liquidation pallets. He's always
No, I
showed
only
me
saw
these.
it because of the thing.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So I didn't know about it until I was doing the ring thing.
Okay, and it's been almost a year since that.
So then I kept looking up all these pallets and just kind of telling Daniel, oh, look at this pallet. It's got all this cool stuff in it. We should buy it. But we never did.
Just planting seeds.
Just planting the seed. And then eventually we just decided, okay, we have all these ideas. We were going to make a studio, like basically like a studio where you could rent out the space and practice with your band. But it's going to be all silent. It's going to be really cool. So we had that idea, the idea about the real estate photography, and then the idea about the pallets. And so we were just thinking about it, and then we thought, okay, well, let's just ask God, because that's what we do, and we believe in God, and we have faith, and He's going to tell us what to do. So we started just asking God, just praying, and then really felt like God was saying, the pallet thing. And so we're like, okay, well, let's focus on this one thing and try to do it. And so we bought, I started doing all this research about the pallets, and then I was kind of getting just kind of disillusioned, like I wasn't really going to buy anything, because I kept going on, I don't know if you've gone to pallet websites, you buy liquidations, but you, basically almost all of them, you have to bid on the pallet. And so I put a bid in, and we would get outbidded, and then it just wasn't worth it, because then it was like, well, why didn't you just buy the thing brand new, It's like, it makes no sense for you to pay that much for something that got liquidated.
They just wanted to win, I think.
And so it's like, it's like whatever, like this, retail price for this water bottle is like $30. And you bid like $5. Okay, well, if you sell it because you're not a retail store, so you're probably not going to be able to sell it for $30. You don't have your own store, so you probably sell it for $20 to make it worth somebody's time to come get it from you instead of a store or instead of Amazon. Well, if you pay $5, you make $15. But people are like basically paying $30. which is retail for it. So it's like, makes no sense.
They're bidding $30.
They're bidding $30 on an item that costs retail $30. And that just didn't make any sense. Plus, then you have to pay taxes on it. I don't know.
Shipping.
Yeah, shipping. And shipping was the other thing. It was like a pallet was like, could cost up to $1,000 to ship. So $1,000 to ship a $200 pallet, that doesn't make any sense. And so I was just kept looking, and I was just gonna give up, and then I just found this website. It's called Ninja Wholesale.
Wholesale Ninjas.
It's called Wholesale Ninjas. And basically, I got on there because I saw that they said that it was only $180 for shipping. And I was like, whoa, that's super cheap. And it said like, we'll ship anywhere. And then the other thing is it said like, if you pay us $180, we'll break down the pallet for you into smaller boxes. So then like some trucker guy doesn't have to come to your house. And that was the other thing, is that with the other ones, a semi pulls up to your house and drops off a pallet. Well, we live in a residential area, obviously, like most people do. And so we didn't think that a truck would stop. And even if they did, and they dropped off a pallet over there, like
How would we get it? Yeah, and we read that sometimes the truckers will just drive by. Like, I'm not wasting my time trying to offload this pallet when there's no truck. What is it?
Like truck space, you know? Like a place for them to drop it off. And plus, they charge extra for, if they use their lift, they charge you extra.
Yeah, it was just
So
like,
it's like,
how are we even gonna do this? But then we found Wholesale Ninjas.
And they said $180 will break down the boxes, so then they come through UPS, not a truck. And I was like, whoa, that's dope. Basically, because of the shipping thing, then I started looking into it. And then the only one that I thought was low risk was one that cost $1,000. And it was a whole, like, Amazon liquidation pallet of small items, it said. And basically they guaranteed you at least 1,000 items for $1,000. And then first time customers got like 15% off, which was like shipping basically. So we got this pallet, free shipping through UPS, and then it had like 1,000 items for $1,000. And so I thought it was low risk because I thought, oh well, if every item is $1, and if we sell every item for $1, we make our money back. Sell every item for $2, we double our money. And that's what I thought. And so we bought it. So we bought it and it came. And then, I don't know what else.
Yeah, that's where we're at. We're strategizing on, how to package the items and to sell them. We had a couple, I think we did like 4 items from the pallet that ended up selling on eBay. Which was good because, we made probably like $100 from that, from 4 items, which was good. But we didn't really love selling on eBay that much.
Well, eBay selling is really hard. Okay, so this is where we're at. Okay, so let's just back it up a little bit.
Okay.
Where we are right now is we bought this pallet of stuff, and then now we're trying to figure out how to sell it. So we did a garage sale. So what we did was we separated all the stuff. We did a garage sale with the items that we thought were never going to sell.
Online.
Online, anywhere really. But there was like the pieces of like a light, like just like super nerdy things. They're like really small. Like I was like
A Smurf. Like a Smurf.
yeah, I was like I don't know what this is, but we did the garage sale and we sold like $300. So that was really good. And then And then basically we've just been selling, here and there. Like Danielle said, we sold a couple items on Amazon. We got like
eBay.
I'm sorry, eBay.
Yeah, we sold a couple items on eBay. So we've maybe made no, not even $100. Not even 100, maybe like 90
On eBay.
on eBay. Which we don't love selling on eBay.
The thing about eBay is like there's so many people selling the same thing, and there's so many people selling the same thing, and then there's the cost of shipping, and the eBay
10% fee, so it's hard to be competitive on there, and also there's a PayPal fee, and then you pay taxes, so.
Basically, if you are selling the item that you bought, right? So you're not getting. Okay, so I'm selling this item, right? It cost me $30 at the store. I'm selling it on eBay for $20. I don't have to pay taxes on that. But because I got the item for $1 and I'm selling it on eBay also for $20, I do have to pay taxes because now I'm making money on that item. I'm not losing money like somebody else who bought it at full retail price. And so because taxes are so high, then it just makes like the margin just so short. And
for a lot of effort, you gotta weigh it, you gotta measure it, for every item.
Drive.
When you list it online, you have to weigh it, you have to measure it, and then, we figured out quickly that it's way cheaper to print your labels at home, but
even then, you still gotta drive all the way to the thing and drop it off.
the post office.
So we'd already been selling, things just to get rid of things. We'd already been selling on Facebook Market, and that's really where we've made some money. Even though I think most of the money has been just friends and family, mostly my family.
You're so sweet.
You're the real MVP. But basically that's where we're at, and Facebook Markets in Lancaster, it's kind of slow.
We were living in Van Nuys in LA before, so it was.
In Van Nuys, it was really hot. It was like you put an item and you got hit up 6 times. If it was like even like $20 under, the normal retail price, it was gone immediately. And so that's kind of been a real shock, to come here
I warned you.
and have it be like that slow. But we have made some sales. I don't know where we're at. We're like $600.
$700, I think we've made back from the pallet.
And I think that it came out to like $900.
$945.
So $945. So we haven't even broke even yet.
Yeah.
And so that's where we're at. So, time to re-strategize, because we can't give up, because that's not what we do. So, I guess, you know what, there's a lot of bad news there, but there was some good news that came out of it, and that's that we made a video about us opening the pallet that we bought from Wholesale Ninjas. And they were super nice, and they were like, hey, we really liked your video. And so basically they ended up sending us like $800 worth of free stuff. And so that was really cool. So now,
Hi, Wholesale Ninjas.
thank you, Wholesale Ninjas. You're the real MVP. So basically, we have all this merchandise, but nowhere to sell it. And we feel like, you post it on Facebook Market, but people still have to come to your house to pick it up, or you have to meet somewhere. And so nowadays, like, you could just click online and just be like, oh, Amazon, I want that thing. And it's like, if you're only going to save a couple bucks, you might as well just get it on Amazon and wait. It'll come to you. And so it's been really a struggle to just get going.
But the good news about the Wholesale Ninjas
What was it?
I don't know. Did you finish?
Yeah, that we got free stuff.
Oh yeah, we got free stuff. Yeah, so that's giving us, you know, a head start.
Yeah.
You know, and that's where we're at, I guess.
Okay, so the other thing is that I've been listening to. I found this guy's name's Gary V. Vaynerchuk. I don't know. I'll put his name in the description. But he's super cool, and if you're like an entrepreneur or you're into this and want to, you know, sell things, you got to go listen to him. He's really awesome, and he's really awesome because he's like very, I'd say like motivational, but also like real, and he really does give you really good advice for free. And ultimately, that's what we want to do. Also, is just help people. And really, that's what this business is about. It's about helping people and having people have a place where they can experience God like we do, or like we have in our lives. So, our new strategy is to do a lot of social media, because that's what Gary says, right? But here's where I'm struggling personally, is that Gary's like, okay, well, what are you good at? What, you know, basically like you make a brand out of yourself, and you give people advice, and you give them things that are going to be beneficial for them without selling them anything, and just being like, hey man, I want to help you. Here's, you know, my spiel. And then people, based on that, because they're so thankful, they're going to look into your product. And even if they don't buy anything, who cares? You know, it's about benefiting others. And we want to do that, but where my struggle is that I don't have anything like that. You know? Like, we're starting this business, we don't know anything about businesses, and so we want to give you guys something, we don't know what.
I don't know. I don't see.
So that's where we're at. So the strategy so far is this. Basically, we made an Instagram, link in description, and on that Instagram, we're going to be sharing advice on anything, right? So Danielle's got a video up there right now about like how to get rid of like sticky things. It's a really good video. And then Danielle's going to be doing a lot of product reviews on the items that we got, just to let you guys know if they work and if you should spend your money on them. And we're going to just go deep. And we want to go deep with people and just like basically get to know you, all you Lancasterianites and Palmdaleanites, all of you out there.
I'm from here. I can say that.
I'm from here now too. Now I live here. So we want to get deep with you guys and just talk to you guys about anything. And so we're really going kind of hard on Instagram and just commenting on people's stuff and trying to build relationships with them and just really trying to encourage everybody. You know, we see a cool picture, we're like, yeah man, that's super cool. Do that, you know. We really want to encourage you guys. And then as well as offer products that are reasonably priced. And if you buy them, cool, and if you don't, I guess cool too. So the other thing that Gary always says is like basically just do a lot of social media. So we're gonna start doing a lot more videos about things. I don't necessarily really know about what, but they're gonna be about something, you know? We didn't really know what this video was gonna be about. We just want to hash things out and see if there's like any thoughts and ideas. And if you have a thought and idea, tell us, you know, what's worked for your business. An idea that I had was that I want to start doing like maybe like a podcast, video podcast and stuff of people that I know who are entrepreneurs and who have started or are starting businesses, and I have some people in mind, and I hope that content helps you, as I hope it helps me as well. Just gonna be asking real raw questions, getting down to the nitty gritty of like, hey, how do you actually make this thing work? Because I don't know, and I want to know, because I want it to be successful.
So basically, I'm the admin in this relationship, and I don't know really anything about how you're supposed to do your taxes for a small business, or like bookkeeping, anything like that. I understand accounting and the concepts in accounting, but that's different than bookkeeping. So, what we did was we made sure that we opened a separate bank account for our business transactions to keep it separate from personal, because I know that can get really messy if you don't do that, if you want to start a business. And I'm just keeping track of every sale, how much it was, what kind of credit was used, was it cash or anything like that. Just documenting. And I've contacted, there's a group that I'm working with that I found through the Lancaster Chamber of Commerce. They're out of College of the Canyons in Valencia, and they help new businesses, small businesses, with resources. And so I've been talking with the woman there, and she's really sweet, she's really awesome, she's very, very encouraging, and she's got connections to other people that are experts in maybe online sales, taxes. She's going to connect me to somebody in marketing, and I'm going to speak with them coming up. And she just has you do like homework. Makes you sit down and really think about your product, your target market, who your competitors are, basic business things that you should be thinking about if you're going to go into the business market. And so I'm going to document and keep track of how it goes with my taxes, and from this point up until tax season, and just to say like, hey, I want to give you guys tips and help new business people on what they need to do as far as taxes go, because it kind of seems a little mysterious. Doing your taxes as an adult is basic, it's easy. They give you a W-2, you type in your info, it's not a big deal. I did like Uber and some other independent contracting before, and that's a little bit different. You can write things off. So it can get a little bit more complicated, with different jobs that you may have. But when it comes to having your own business, I don't have a tax person. We don't have a tax person. I don't know if we'll necessarily want to spend money on that. So I've just been doing my best to keep track of everything, and we'll see what happens.
Yeah. Another thing is that I work a full-time job now at Freedom Thrift Store. Stop by. Anyways, and I post things online for them on Facebook. So if you ever see anything from Freedom Thrift Store on Facebook or Instagram, that's me. And basically, all of this stuff that we're going to be bringing to you in this short period of time that's coming up, it's all going to be on free time that we have. And so I just wanted to say that to encourage you, just to say, hey man, I work a full-time job too, and honestly, I don't feel like doing things after work that are more work, but I know that if I want this side hustle to become my main hustle, then I have to do it. This is a job, and I have to fulfill my basically the things that I need to do for this job so that it can be successful, because I don't want to work for other people for the rest of my life. I want to give people opportunities and jobs too, and this is the only way to do it. So you gotta go hard, man. You gotta just, rally yourself up and just do it. Just get up and just do it, Get up, make a video about how you're gonna make a business. Post things online when you don't want to, but you have to, just do it. And the work, if you put in the work, then I feel like if you put in the work, you're gonna be successful. There's no other way. Like, if you put in the work, you're gonna be successful. And that's what I've always done my whole life. Is I just put in the work, and then things happen. And that's what we're gonna do here.
Yeah.
Yeah. So thanks for joining us. We'll see you very soon, and you'll be hearing from us. Follow us on Instagram. Hit us up. Comment. Text us. Don't text us.
If you have our number, text us.
Text us. Whatever, man. Thanks for joining us.
Bye.